guys. I don't know if that's going to help any. I don't even know if I'm broadcasting live. Been so lazy all day today. This entire month has flown by. Let's see. And I got this new computer that updated to Windows 11 recently, so I have no idea. I'm learning how to use that now. I didn't intentionally need to update my computer to Windows 11, but I did. And now I am trying to come on to do my charmings, and I should look at the chat too. I'm just so tired. Hey, Marita. You know, I've been like just knackered all month. It's like my job is like serving my ass to me. So it's been hard to like get it together on the weekends. I've just been burnt out. And today is one of those days. It moved everything around. Beth Allen is asking how different is it from Windows 10, O, and high. It's it moved everything around. Like I all of a sudden have new icons down at the bottom of my tool taskbar. The Windows icon that's normally in the corner that you would go to find stuff is no longer there. It's been moved over to the center. It's sort of weird. And then it's got this series of icons across the bottom. Like it's got that start window, but it's moved over. It's got like the search, but it's not like this where search used to be. It's got, I guess that's your Windows button now. It's a black button and a yellow, so it's the two different screens. There's a bunch of new, different, weird, and then chat, which I'm not sure what that is. And then some of the other stuff, they're just in different orders. And then when you go looking for stuff, it's not where you're used to finding it, but it's still there. You just have to figure out where it is, kind of thing. So I noticed that this morning. I was having like a little bit of an issue. Does it seem really fucking dark in here? Hold on, let me turn on lights. So tired. I don't get it. Why am I so tired? It's crazy too, because it's like I slept last night. I mean, I didn't sleep. I slept on the couch last night because a long story, but I'm repainting my bedroom, and so I couldn't sleep in my bedroom with the dogs in there. So I slept out in the living room because that way they could all sort of sleep around me, like either on the couch or because they like to sleep near me. If I went into the spare bedroom, there was no room in there for me because I moved a bunch of stuff from my bedroom into the spare bedroom. So if I went to sleep in the bed in there, I would have to sleep away from them. So I slept on the couch last night, but I don't think that's why I'm tired. I think I'm just tired just in general because of work. But whatever. Whatever. What is Karen saying? Hi, Karen Stringer. Hi, Sunshine. Yeah, thanks, Marita. I know. Hi, Shamaria, Clifton, Laria, Lawler, blah, blah, blah. Hi, Rose. How are you? Yes, there's time to do charmings. Just give me a moment. I'm kind of gearing up. It doesn't seem that much brighter in here, does it? Like, I don't understand. It might be this camera. Like, this camera, I look really gray. Like, and this is like a sort of a fancy computer. Like, it's a new computer. And it's like, doesn't really do me any favors. Hey, Priscilla, how are you, dear? Hey, Tina Charlie, how are you? Let me see. Maybe I can get more light. Let's see. see. Let me move this out of here. Let's get this all away. How's Luna, Marita and Rose? How is Luna doing? That's her name, right? No, Luna's your other one. What's the other one's name? The Frenchie? What's the Frenchie's name? Is it Luna? No, Luna's your first dog, I think, right? But she has a moon name, doesn't she? Like Ceres or Crescent or something. What's her name? The Frenchie that you got? I can't remember her name now. That's like so not even better. What is going on? Like I have a lot of light on in this room. I look like I'm in a cast member from Les Miserables. What the hell is going on with this camera? Is it really grayed out or is it just me? It's really weird. Like I have like a ring light on me. I have a lamp right here on. And I feel like everything looks really gray on camera. I look gray like I'm a ghost. Thank you, Priscilla. It's really weird. And I have like, literally, like, I kid you not, there's lights on. And there's light coming in from the window. And I look really gray. Like, weird. I don't know. Totally gray. I know, it's weird. The Frenchie is Moon. That's her name, right? Moon. How is Moon doing? Is she getting bigger? Lenare is your first pup. That's right. I knew it. Moon, she's doing well. Good. Get her an Elvira. Get an Elvira. Do you guys want to see her? You guys are going to kick out of this. Hold on. I'm going to show you. So my work is doing a day because everything's. Give me a moment to catch my mojo here. I got to wake up by talking to you guys for a minute and like be a person here. But my work is doing a Halloween thing, right? And we all work virtually, right? I work from my living room basically, which I'm really grateful for that. But we're dressing up in costumes, so let me go get my costume for you. I'll show you my costume. Hold on. I love it. So dumb. Blessed be the fruit. This is my costume that I'm going to wear virtually for work. So I'm going to be my boss. My supervisor's name is Dawson. So I'm going to be of Dawson. It's so stupid. But it was a very simple costume to come up with. And I feel like The Handmaid's Tale is just as scary as any horror movie I've ever seen out there. So I'm kind of like, I don't know how to change the tint, Karen. It's bad, isn't it? It might be my computer. I don't know. It might be too fancy of a computer. She's stealing everything off of tables. That's awesome. Blessed be the fruit, though. That's what I'm going to say to everybody at work all day long and under his eye. I'm just going to say to them over and over again under his eye, because we're all working virtually anyway. So I'm going to be the Handmaid's Tale, just because I think it's a fair show. And I think that it's very prophetic to where we could potentially be heading with all this right-wing Christian stuff and all that sort of stuff. So, hey, Claudette McIntosh, how are you? So this is what I'm going as, and my supervisor, like I said, his name was Dawson, so I'm going to be of Dawson instead of Alfred, because they all have. Oh wait, what is it? I guess I have to do it like the other way. So yeah, so that's, and this is basically just a hoodie that I bought off of Amazon, a red hoodie and a red scarf, and then I bought the hat on Amazon. It's kind of stupid, I know, but I love it. And it's just sort of like semi-political, very, current, fun costume. So that's my costume for work. I hope I don't get fired, though. See? So it is terrifying, is it not, Rose? It's like one of the most terrifying shows on TV. And it's not even like, I mean, I can deal with Walking Dead easier than I can deal with Handmaid's Tale. Like Handmaid's Tale, like I need to take a deep breath and go, okay, am I in for 3 episodes? Can I actually do 3 episodes, or can I only do 1? I have to really like think about it for a minute, because people don't get how like borderline, how possible of a future that could be. You're like, you want to pretend like, oh no, it's not ever. Oh, bullshit. So, anyways, so yeah, so that's what I'm gonna go as for Halloween, and it's simple. I thought it was a really great costume. Like just a great idea, because we're also all working virtually, so you can only see from here up. So basically, I'm just wearing like a normal Hanes hooded sweatshirt that I can use for later as just normal clothes. All right, let me put this away really quick, and then we'll get started. Okay. Do you mind standing on the paint? Okay, let's get going here. So yeah, so that's my. I wonder what it is about my camera. Maybe I probably shouldn't even mess with this. Where's my settings nowadays? I don't even know where settings are. Today in history, time in Madrid. Like, I don't know the new setup for Windows 11, and it's brand new to me. And there used to be like in the Windows menu, like if I tap that, okay, it throws up a window with everything in it now, but it's like different. It doesn't give me just straight up camera. It gives me direct links to TikTok, like that's important. Photos, Word, Edge, Microsoft Store, Spotify, get started. It just shows me weird, like everything's not in the normal place that it used to be. You see, oh, here's camera. Let's see if I can make adjustments to it. Uh-oh, am I still on video with you guys? See, the camera there is beautiful. That's not what I want, though. Uh-oh. Did you guys see that? Could you see that? You probably couldn't. I don't think you could. I don't know if I lost you when I did that. But like when I just switched to my camera, I could see the charm box from the above camera, which I can switch through here. Something's weird. Let me see. Where's settings? High definition. Integrated webcam. I don't know why I look so gray. High resolution audio. Want full HD quality. Upgrade now. I don't want. Maybe it's because I'm not in HD. I don't know. But it looks really fucking dark in here. And it's weird because it's not this dark. And when I turn on my camera from my normal camera, like, let's see if that switches it up. Hold on 1 second. See if that changes stuff. Do you see how that looks? See how pretty that looks? Like, that's how it looks on my normal computer. So I don't know what's going on with the camera on me. Maybe I'm just getting too old. Maybe the gray is actually me being gray. I have no idea. It's weird though. So that's my Brio camera, which I normally use. So I don't understand why the camera in the computer is so gray, but the camera in the... No, this is the camera computer on me. Hold on, maybe if I kick it back, maybe it might kick into brighter. I don't know. Integrated webcam. It's just gray. Like, I don't know why it's so dark looking. It's really weird. Because it's not that dark in this room at all. Might need a white balance. I don't know how to do that. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. You're not here to see me anyways. You're here to get charmings and stuff like that. So we can go back to the other camera. It's just sort of, it's interesting because I don't remember it being this sort of grayed out. God, I look tired, don't I? I think this job is really working with my soul. I mean, not that I'm grateful to have it, don't get me wrong, but I look tired. All right. Okay. Let me switch cameras again. So who wants to go first, Marita or Rose? You guys have to make a decision. Dan Noir, exactly, Karen. All right, Marita. Marita, do you have a topic you want me to work with or just general? General is great, okay. Hi. All right, we have an H and we have an I. Comes to a number 5. 5s usually signify change. We have a prayer coin. I believe this is Shiva. And we have the Queen of Swords. And this was laying over this flipped over, right? Originally, like that sort of, right? And so what I'm going to say is I feel like there's an argument amongst these charms in each little section. I feel like the unicorn is flipped over and it feels like it's hoofing the baseball player in the face, right? The catcher. This is usually about playing the game. But it feels like these two are almost fighting one another, right? He's got his protective gear on. And this is sort of like the magic of the unicorn. It's like being, I don't know, held back, subdued. And they're fighting against one another. The ball player to me signifies more about the work involved with doing things, right? Like, I'm gonna be honest, this feels like this funny dichotomy between this fight between spiritual and practical, or physical and spiritual, if that makes sense. And I see it mirrored in each three like groupings of charms. Here we have the word prayer, right, in the prayer coin, and we have the matador jacket, again, sort of like a career thing or work, you know, facing the bull, facing the big sort of you know, that's what matadors do, right? And they're also these sort of fanciful you know, they wear these beautiful outfits, and this is one of my favorite charms in the whole charm box, this little matador jacket. But to me, in this story, or with these, and it's actually very hooked on to these hieroglyphs, which to me would be like ancient knowledge or awareness, spiritual knowledge, and they sort of want to be connected. Um, but they're sitting over here with the prayer coin sitting over them, right? So we have this ancient knowledge, we have the work of the matador, or the beauty of that, the practical application of that, and then the prayer coin, and all of them sort of feel like they're like squabbling together to me for some reason, struggling maybe for, I don't know, who gets the most of Marita's attention at the moment. Then over here, this gentleman, I can't remember exactly who he is, but sometimes he signifies death to me, but I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like in this particular layout, to me, this is about meditation or going inward, listening to the voice that is within, right? Sort of centering on one's own self. And this is you and your now. But what I find interesting is we have Shiva, or I think this is Shiva. I can't remember. It's one of the seated Indian deities. I'll have to go back through my charming video hauls to remember the name of this one. And this is what happens when I don't do charmings every week, because I start to lapse and forget who everybody is in the box. But essentially, this would be a spiritual figure that's sitting on top of the Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords would represent intellect, or that air energy, right? You know, Libra, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarian energy, right? But she's that sort of analytical, emotional yet analytical. She's going to lead with her her awareness, her intelligence, before she, you know, lets her emotions take hold or make the decisions for her. And so what I feel like is going on here between these two is we have the masculine and feminine, obviously, because this is masculine, Queen of Swords would be feminine. That's a nice balance, but they feel at odds with one another, right? And so where we have, it's almost like, it almost feels like the spiritual charms are beating up on the practical charms, or holding them back in some way. Like to me, it feels like this unicorn is flat out attacking him, you know, like hitting him with his hooves. Even though the unicorn is flipped over, so is the seated deity, right? That's flipped over the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is really good discernment, logic, critical thinking, very powerful skills there, but it's sort of being blocked or not allowed to express itself in some way. That could be some of the Egyptian hieroglyph knowledge too, but to me, this feels like a blend of both, like maybe the Queen of Swords and sort of more spiritual or more ancient wisdom, right? But we've got this mix of the Matador jacket in there, and Matador jacket to me not only is like really ornate and beautiful, but it also is sort of a profession. It's a very dangerous profession, right? And so to me, that's the part that is like sort of the rub, or the you know, we have the catcher who's also in his own sort of regalia, but also for protection, right? And so it makes me wonder, like, I almost want to say, and in the middle of it all, in the middle of all of this going on right now, like, I wouldn't be surprised if you told me you were weighing things out, like what is practical versus what is fantastical, or what is spiritual versus what is material, what is working, what is not. Are those things like at odds in your space, in your head? And what I feel like you're doing right now in the current moment is staying as centered as possible and trying to not be swayed either direction by either one, or heavily influenced by either one. Does that make sense? And with this number 5 in the high, it says it in the high to me is almost like a hi, Marita, hey. If you didn't know this was going on, or if you weren't conscious of this going on, we're just going to show it to you really quick in charms. No big deal, but don't worry, this is about to change too. Like these things will iron themselves out, right? Whatever discord you might be experiencing, if there's certain aspects of yourself, your personality, your knowledge base that are fighting for help, not help, that's the wrong word, fighting for your attention, right? To kind of take over or lead the path, they're at odds in some way. And like it might not be so clear as to which one is the perception or the path to take in a way. You will find the answer, and I think you're doing the right thing by kind of remaining still, calm, paying attention, receptive, right? And seeing where that takes you. But it's kind of up for grabs, and that's that number 5, right? That element of change. That's that, will the catcher win because he's heavily padded and ready to play, or will the magic of the unicorn like kick its butt and beat him into submission? And this to me is in the future, right? So there's this would be more going into the future. So it says to me that it's not quite done yet. Whatever sort of dilemma or it feels like a back and forth to me. And it feels like it was more, obviously it was more less, not less obvious, but more deep-seated. There was a little bit more regalia, a little bit more show maybe in the past. It's a little bit more dangerous. You're more adept at it, more comfortable with it. But there is this fight between sort of maybe your spiritual knowledge and your critical intelligence in a way that they're not like, it's almost like they're not working together. Like one wants to take the lead and instead of allowing one to, and not that you would allow one to take the lead, but instead of giving one like your full-fledged attention, you're kind of trying to remain as impartial in the center as you can right now, as things feel a little bit off balance, and allowing them to kind of work themselves out is the way that I feel. And so I think that that's good, and I think that that's what's needed, and I think that you have, the Queen of Swords plus this deity here says to me, you have all of the faculties you need to handle all of this, and you maybe already even know that. That's why you're able to take this stance of like a sort of, I'm just going to stay in my lane, remain calm, this too shall pass. That's the energy that I'm getting off of this charm right here. Even if things are a little bit, tumultuous moving forward, everything's going to find its place and its role, right? And I think that maybe you already know that. It's just a matter of how's it all going to play out, or what's going to take the forefront, or does something have to take the forefront ultimately? Maybe not. We just have to discover that for ourselves. It's kind of, when you say your grandfather was a matador, very cool. The matador jacket right there. LOL, spiritual charms beating up practical. It's kind of what it feels like a little bit. Like maybe pushing back your work ethic, not your work ethic, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like that maybe more fear-based or worry-based part of you that wants to like be like, oh no, I've got to be protected, I've got to be safe, I've got to work hard, I've got to think, whatever. It's like, it feels like these other charms like, no, no, let us show you the way. Sort of how it's going on. Thank you, Natalie. I'm doing fine. I hope you're good too, dear. So that's sort of my feeling there. And I think that like remaining sort of passive in the center, kind of as a witness to it all and watching it unfold is probably the best thing for you, because it will sort of unfold in the way that it needs to or has to, just naturally, without any need to like sort of force it or make it happen kind of thing. All right, does that make sense? If so, I am going to clear the board. You are very welcome. All right. Rose, are you here, my dear? Do you have a topic for me to charm on? Did you have a topic? Or do you want me to just do general? General? Okay. Ashley, this remind me to show you what I got at the. I went to the Ashley furniture store the other day, and I found something that I'm gonna show you. Okay. Oh, look, the Queen of Swords. Interesting. That air element energy, and I think that Rose, are you? You're a Libra, I think, too. And high and die, and both. This is the number 4. 4s are about stability. Queen of Swords. We've got Taurus or the bull over the Queen of Swords. Oh, sorry, no, this is the panther, the jaguar. Interesting. And then we've got the King of Pentacles face down. Family charm upside down. And then we've got the survival chakra, or the first chakra stone, flipped over. Okay, so I don't want to call anybody out or anything like that, but I'm wondering if possibly there's some discord or some mirroring between charmings, only because we had that Shiva sort of sitting on top of the Queen of Swords. Now we have the Jaguar sitting on top of the Queen of Swords. It looks very, very similar. It's almost in the exact same position too. So it makes me wonder if you and Marita are like not seeing eye to eye right now. You might be that Queen of Swords in Marita's reading also. And I kind of thought that when I said it earlier, when I named off the 3 air signs, I thought, I wonder if that's Rose. And now that I'm seeing this here, it could be that there could be a little bit of a, one of you is trying to be more practical, more logical, probably you, Rose. And I'm not saying that that's the right way to be. One of you is also in your sort of spiritual strength or power, right? That would be that Shiva charm that we were seeing. That this jaguar medicine, right? That's sitting here again in a very similar position, face down, laying over. It could be a form of protection even, right? But for some reason, they don't feel like they're quite jiving, or that they're communicating maybe as smoothly as they would normally. That gentleman in the previous reading that was sort of laying tilted in a meditative space, he was face up. I feel like that might be Marita kind of acquiescing or just kind of playing it even or safe. Does that make sense? Underneath all of this, and the reason why I say underneath is because this term is flipped over, is the King of Pentacles, right? Which is the master provider, made your money, having the material wealth, having everything in place, having that grounded stability, earth sign realness, that kind of a thing, right? And so this is here and flipped over, like, so it makes me wonder if there's still some money issues going on or some fears around money that both of you are working on, right? That both of you are maybe struggling with in your sort of own way, right? It's not that the struggle is with each other. The struggle is probably around this. And because in Marita's reading, there was this whole thing about the spiritual beating up the practical, or the things that represented sort of almost as jobs or careers. Like we had the catcher up there and we had the matador down here, were at odds with the other things. So for me, Marita's reading was about, okay, where do I fit this in? It feels sort of similar to me. And it's all around kind of money and also sort of survival, or one's ability to be safe, right? That's kind of where our first chakra operates from, is this idea of survival, keeping the body alive, safety, security, that sort of a thing. And so when these two are flipped over like this, doesn't necessarily mean that they're not available to us. I think more in this reading, it means like this might be a driving factor that's in our deeper realms, right? So there could be rather intense fears around money and the insecurity right now, especially for you, because this is more your reading, Rose, right? Where I didn't get that sense necessarily with the reading for Marita. Marita's reading was more about, I know because of that central figure in the center, I know that if I remain calm, that this will sort of iron itself out. This will find its way. Now, for you, I don't feel that necessarily, that sense of trust, right? And what I find is interesting, hold on. Sorry, I'm telling the dog to hold on because she's snoring below me and I'm that tired. What I find interesting is Marita's reading said hi. This reading says die, right? The words rhyme. One is a 5, which is about change, right? Where we saw in Marita's reading this ease or this ability to potentially like meditate into transition and watch the transitions take place, take the punches on the chin or take the struggles and fight them back in a way, right? With some of those spiritual symbols that were in Marita's reading. But with yours, it's a number 4, which is again, this focus on stability, foundations. And we've got survival, we've got the King of Pentacles. So there's this like emphasis on that in this reading that wasn't in the other reading, right? The other reading had a little bit more of a flexibility to me, right? The household or the family charm is flipped. They are face up, which is a good thing, but they're flipped upside down. So to me, I don't know if this means that the actual family is upside down or things are topsy-turvy or about to be topsy-turvy, as much as you might be fearful of things getting out of control or becoming topsy-turvy. I don't necessarily know that that's the truth, but to me it almost feels like the Queen of Swords has to like trust this jaguar, this sort of mythical jungle like, creature, and this could be Marita. And I think that, there is a working relationship that's happening between these two, but do they actually trust or understand the other side of the coin? That's the question. I think that there's a harmony though, like even within the word hi, which would be like an opening or a beginning, and die, which would certainly be an ending. There's like it's almost like a cycle. Do you get what I'm saying? Does that make sense to you guys? Like when you say hi is like a beginning, die would be an ending. And so I feel like one of you has one side of the puzzle, the other has the other, right? And so I think that actually there's a complementary aspect to this if you two are able to make it like, I don't know if balance is the right word, but if that communication does come complete, or how do I want to say this? Like this is weird because I'm sorry the dog snoring so loud. This is weird because I've never had like two tandem readings that like kind of blend so well together, one right after the other, but it kind of feels like if we can get these two. And it's interesting too, I will say this, in Marita's reading, the Queen of Swords, which was in a very similar position, was flipped over with Shiva sitting on top, right? So there might be a little issue where Rose doesn't feel like she's being heard sometimes, Marita. In Rose's reading, she's upright, right? And so she's being heard, but she's still contending with sort of the strength and beauty of the jaguar, right? And the jaguar is its own sort of like authoritative creature and cannot necessarily always be tamed in a way. Although that gentleman that was sideways here is Marita's way of taming themselves. Does that make sense? And so, like, this is so weird. I want to say like that's Marita's way of expressing their gratitude towards you, Rose, by like being like, okay, I've got this, I can handle this. I don't have to make any too many extreme decisions just yet. I can sort of suss this out and roll with the punches, take this on. La la la. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense to you guys. I don't want to feel like I am also putting your relationship out on display on a public reading. That's the other thing about this. It's making me a little bit nervous. But I do think there's a communication thing that needs to be worked out here. I don't know which one needs to be listened to more. I don't know. It's almost as if like I kind of get a feeling, and this was in both readings, I don't feel like we know who is the lead here. And I don't know that there's supposed to be one. And I think that's the most important thing to be said from both of these readings, is that each of you have your attributes, each of you have your say, each of you have your strengths. Rose, you're the Queen of Swords. That's the intellect, the discernment, the analysis. Those are your strengths, right? Those are where your skill set lies. Marita, you're more sort of maybe the magic aspect, or the shamanic aspect, the unicorn, the jaguar, those sort of things, right? So, but both have their valid points. Both are equally important, and both are needed, right? And so this could just be a period where the two of you are figuring out how to best work those two energies together, to commingle them, to get yourself to where you need to be. Thing is I just kind of sense that like Rose is in a bit more fear or worry than say Marita is. That's my feeling. Just because of what I'm seeing in these charms. Let me read these comments real quick, sorry. It's okay, be real. I love you, my Queen of Swords. You better quit sitting on her. I just think that like I also feel like that jaguar is very protective. Like he feels like he's circling around her to sort of protect her or keep her safe. Maybe due to the fears that are going on here. Financial fears, survival fears, worries, whatever. If anybody's carrying more of the mental burden of this, I'm not saying that somebody's carrying, well, maybe you are because you're showing up as the Queen of Swords twice, Rose. But if that mental burden is taking more of a toll on you and you're having maybe, say, slight less faith than maybe Marita, because Marita, even though Marita had, in their reading, a little bit more of punches being pulled, right? We saw the hits and the sort of struggle, but that was stuff that maybe Marita's more used to or has been dealing with longer, something to that effect. It didn't feel, what's the word, like unexpected to me, if that makes sense. It felt like maybe something that we've been dealing with for a while. Where this, it's not that this doesn't feel unexpected, but this definitely feels uncomfortable for you, Rose. You know, and it threatens like what you love the most, which is, or you feel as though it threatens what you love the most, which is the family, right? Which is you, Marita, and the babies, right? So I kind of feel like, and also just in the word to die, it's a little dramatic. And I mean that in the sense that like it's got that immediacy or that worry to it that makes me think that maybe this is not more than you can handle, but it's a lot for you to handle right now. That's my feeling. I'm hot. Like all of a sudden my body's really warm. Yes, Ashley, I can do you next. Awesome, Rose. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that because then it makes me feel less cuckoo. Did you, Ashley, did you want cards or charms? You can choose whichever you want. All right, I can do cards for you. Just one moment. Well, that might be, this is the King of Pentacles. Maybe money's about to get better. Because this is definitely in the background sort of thing. So money might be good, but if there's still a driving factor or need for more, that would be this. Natalie, there's a I can't do the Linktree link anymore. Because this computer doesn't have my email on it. I cannot seem to get my email hooked up to this computer. So I pull my link from my email. If anybody has access to my Linktree link, if you could post it in the chat, that would be great. But Ashley, if you're ready, let me get some decks together. 1 second. I'm going to clear this off. You're welcome, Rose. Thank you. So Ashley, you've got deck 1, deck 2, or deck 3. You get to choose your deck. It should be Natalie. If not, you can always message me. I do private readings too. They're a bit more expensive than the lives because the lives I charge half price because it's live, like, you know, online, right? So you're not getting sort of the privacy of being able to really have me talk about everything that I try and keep it above board when we're on a public forum like this. I may not necessarily say everything, or, you know, I kind of try and keep it safe in a way. In private readings, it's a little bit more specific and direct to you. Deck number 3. And do you have a topic, Ashley? Ah, there you go. That's a good idea. A DM voice reel with the real. That's true too. Well, I mean, I kind of give the reel with who I think can handle it in a public setting. There's certain people that I feel like can handle the truth, and certain people that I'm not sure that it's fair to necessarily deliver the truth to them in front of others. Like, you have to be careful. You have to be mindful of that. I mean, you guys know that. You understand that, Rose. I know you do. It's just like who, you know, it's out of respect for people's private business and their space and stuff like that. Love. Okay, Ashley, thank you. Ace of Wands. Wow. 2 of Wands. The Chariot. King of Pentacles. Or sorry, 9 of Pentacles. And the 4 of Pentacles. So I feel like, if anything, like, and I know this is going to sound dumb, but I feel like you're definitely ready. The Ace of Wands would indicate the newness and the excitement of that. There could even be somebody new in your space, or somebody that you're thinking about, that you're like looking at or kind of contemplating right now. That would be the newness of the Ace. Ace of Wands can sometimes represent like strong, passionate, like sort of desire coming up within you. Doesn't necessarily just have to be sexual desire. It can be desire in the sense of like, you know, feeling romantic, feeling sexual, obviously, but also feeling like intense attractions towards another particular person or the idea of being in love, that sort of a thing, but being really open to it and having that be your center, right? So I like that as your center, especially when you're asking about love. And then what's driving you is the Two of Wands, which is that like kind of real deal love, right? That sort of, potentially soulmated or fated kind of love. You maybe have had it in the past, or you've had something that was that intense that you felt in the past, and you kind of, if you're out to recreate it again, if you've maybe lost it or whatever, if that makes sense, right? You're out to create it again. It exists. It is the driving force. The having touched it or experienced it at one point in your past makes you want it to sort of, in essence, like taste it again or have it again. The Chariot would indicate movement towards that, taking care of one's own self first and foremost while doing it, and ideally celebrating oneself, putting oneself on a pedestal. That's kind of the feeling that I get with the Chariot, especially in that position, because that's your spirit or soul card. So you want to be exalting yourself, holding yourself, not to a high standard, but like really giving yourself the props that you deserve. I think that you understand that to a certain degree when we see these Two Wands cards here. But I would say if you're not doing that, begin to do that, or at least that's the message from like what I would say is your higher self or your soul. It's like move towards that through treating yourself kind of in the way that you want to be treated by, say, a loving partner, right? That's going to move you closer to that energy or to that vibration or to the possibility of that happening than just sort of waiting for it to come to you. Does that make sense? Now, on the opposite or on opposite sides of you is the outside influences. Both of these are Pentacle cards, which I find is interesting because Pentacles is not the most romantic of suits, but it can indicate relationships at times. But the thing is you have the Nine of Pentacles. And to me, she's like sort of the independent card, right? She's that woman in the field with the falcon on her arm in a traditional tarot deck. She has need for nothing. She doesn't need anybody other than herself, and she's aware of that, but she's also oftentimes, she's depicted as alone, right? So when I see this as the outside influences, and then the Four of Pentacles can be about protecting oneself, guarding things too closely, holding on too tightly. So if you're experiencing relationship situations or interactions with people where they're being aloof, they're not necessarily giving of themselves, they're not necessarily too free or too malleable, changeable, that's the Pentacles energy that's going on around you. The Four would indicate somebody's probably damaged or has a hurt heart from a previous experience and doesn't trust you, or isn't willing to trust you. It has nothing to do with you. It's more about them. It's interesting that we have a fox here, and it's just making me say, like, be careful. Is there like a fox in the hen house, or is there somebody that maybe you can't trust? It's not that they're a bad person necessarily, but they're sly, right? And so Four of Pentacles doesn't necessarily indicate another person, but I have a feeling with Pentacles on either side of you, your options aren't, how do I want to say this? They're not living up to the ideals of what you have within you, right? Like the boys that you potentially are coming around, yes, you might entertain them. Yes, you might be interested in them. Certainly you'd give anybody a fair shake, but are they really like pulling weight or giving you that sort of desirous thing that you're seeking or that exists that you want? Probably not, especially with this Four of Pentacles here. But also the Nine of Pentacles could indicate, and again, not necessarily it doesn't necessarily indicate a person in normal tarot, but I get a feeling that, I don't know if there's some guy around you. One guy is emotionally unavailable, let's just put it that way, and the other guy is sort of aloof. Like if there's two different guys, that's how I would describe these two different cards, or that's the vibe that I'm getting. Is I'm feeling like if there's two different boys that she's entertaining or two different situations she's entertaining, one is it's like good, it's great, but it's like, I want to say it's like sort of like I want to compare it to a house cat, like cats can be super loving and they come around you and they rub up on your legs and they're oh so sweet. And then they're like, no, don't touch me. That's this card over here, right? So if there's like a guy that you're seeing, or it feels really good when you're with him and you're excited and it feels fulfilling and all of that, that's great. But then in the end, he like not bails, but he goes off on his own for periods of time. And he's quite independent. You have to seek and find that independence within yourself to be okay while he's gone or departing from you. Does that make sense? That may not be easy for you, and that's certainly not necessarily what's in line here or what you're seeking. You're seeking more of this like connected thing. this is about independence. This is more about like sort of being disconnected in a way, right? If this were a situation or a person, this is somebody that's maybe been hurt by things in the past. Not to say that they're bad people or that they're not interesting folks. They might be very, very attractive or, seem very stable, but they're not giving you what you need or what you want, because they don't trust for some reason. And it may not have nothing to do with you, right? Could be something completely different, like their past or the history, the relationships that they've been in, right? But for whatever the reason is, they're not necessarily like readily available to you. Let's just say that. Neither of these two options is readily available to you when you want it at the time you think you want it. I would say the Nine of Pentacles offers you more, right? But it's still on the Nine of Pentacles schedule in a way, rather than on your own. And that's where I feel like the Chariot says, celebrate you, girl, do you. Don't even sweat these two. Like, if you want to enjoy them for what they're worth, enjoy them for what they're worth. But like, don't be trying to make star-crossed lovers out of, some old moccasins or something. I don't know. That was the lamest analogy I've ever heard of. But do you know what I mean? Like, don't, like, it's almost like I don't get this great big love affair coming out of these two cards. I get this sort of like, oh, it could be nice when it's around kind of vibe. And this is like sort of like more of a pain in the ass than anything, quite frankly. The last card coming out is the Two of Pentacles. What a beautiful Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is about maintaining balances. I will say one interesting thing in this card as I'm looking at it is dolphins, I believe they mate for life. And it's interesting that we have this Pentacles energy out here, and we have this Two of Pentacles as the outside, or as the outcome, right? We have this Two of Wands as the driving force. We have a 2 and we have a 2. We have like the Ace of Wands in your center, and we have some Pentacle-y situations here. Can we turn a 4 or 9 into a 2 and be united and connected? It's possible, Ashley. But which Pentacle situation are we going to choose? That's the question. I would say get independent and choose the 9, because he's going to have a little bit more for you. Although the 4 can be stable, not a bad thing. If you're surrounded by earth signs, I wouldn't be surprised, because that would be all of this Pentacle energy too. Two of Pentacles, though, is about maintaining balance in a lot of ways, right? So when we're looking at this in the sense of love, is can we balance sort of, having them with us when they're with us and away when they're away, right? That's kind of the feeling that I get, even with the 4 or the 9. Either way, when they're available and they're probably good for you. But when they're apart or when they're off doing their own thing, can you be okay? Can you maintain that balance within yourself, that equilibrium within yourself? And I think that the Two of Pentacles teaches you that, or that you can learn that in the process, right? So you could be attracting to you a relationship that requires you or challenges you in that way. And that's why this is your outcome card. Is it's sort of like the cyclical motion of those two dolphins, right? It's like kind of going around and around. And if we don't get too much caught up in our emotions and in our ego, and we stay grounded, i.e. that Pentacles energy, we maintain that balance, we might actually be able to sort of learn something, make something out of some of these situations we're involved in. Is it going to be the fiery, passionate, like, thing that you're looking for with Pentacles energy? Probably not. But will it be something that could, you could find balance around and maintain, and it could be, it could provide for you and be solid and grounded? Yes. So if that's what you want, then it's there for you. Does that make sense? But it's going to require work, right? The Two of Pentacles is always, about sort of working at maintaining that even keel, understanding, reciprocated respect, all of that sort of stuff. So that's kind of what I see for you in your love department. I'm interested to know, are there do these two situations make any sense to you at all? It's okay, Natalie. You can always message me if you want. I'm usually on Sundays, so it's you can find the link if you go to like my YouTube channel. The links on any of my daily videos. You're welcome, Ashley. You're very welcome. The links are on my YouTube channel. All the information is on the daily videos on my YouTube channel. If you go over there, I'm actually going to sign off here in a minute because I've been on an hour and I need to let the puppies out to pee. So they've got to. Oh, do you guys want to see the puppies? All right, is Rose and Marita still here? They might have left. I was going to show them the Frenchie, but they might have left. So that is your reading. I hope it makes sense, Ashley. Thank you so much for subscribing to the Patreon channel. That's another thing you can do too, Natalie, is these people that all got readings tonight, the reason why they didn't necessarily send me money is that they're my Patreon subscribers, so they get a free reading every month whenever they tune in. On Sunday nights is usually when I go live. So because they're at the highest level of subscription, they have a subscription where they get to see the daily forecast every day on the Patreon page, and then they can get a charming or a card reading for free on any Sunday when I'm live. You want to see the puppies? Yeah, I'm going to show you a couple things. Hold on, I want to show you guys. Let me switch cameras really quick back to the Walking Dead grayscale. Give me one moment. This is, well, I'll show you. I don't know how well these are going to show up, but let me see. Can you see these? Let's see. So I bought these two paintings. Do you see these paintings? They're kind of sideways. But look. Can you see that? So these are going to go in probably my bathroom because that's where the dogs always choose to join me. I have this running joke about there's a meme that I found a long time ago that says something about when you make the statement, I'm going to the bathroom with the dogs here is family meeting now. So those are going to go up in my restroom when I'm done painting my bedroom. But I think they're adorable. And I got them at Ashley Home Store, which they're like generic paintings. They're not like painted by anybody great or anything like that. But when I saw them, I was like, oh my God, those belong in my house. Like they have to come home with me. So let me switch cameras and I'll go get the puppies really quick before I let them go out to pee. I wish I had a camera that I could move around the house with. That would be amazing. So is it still really gray? It's still really gray. I don't know why it does that, but let me go get them. I'll be right back. Hi, honey. Are you in here sniffing paint off the walls? What are you doing, guys? I'll just show them to you really quickly, but normally we're crate training right now, so we have to get them right out. They've been let out of the crate, so they go straight outside to pee. But this is one of them. His name is Cupid. Hi, Cupid. And this is Cora. Hi, Cute. So let me run them outside really quick to pee them because they're used to going straight outside so that they potty train. So I'll be right back. Watch out, guys. Watch out. Guys want to go pee outside? Come on, let's go pee outside. Come on. Hi guys, I'm back. So yeah, so we're practicing potty training because it's been a mess here at the house. I've been bathed in pee and poop for the last few, I don't know, since I've gotten them. They get it and they go out and then they'll come right back in and they'll take a dump in the house. It drives me nuts. Like they'll be out for a while. Come here, hold on. I don't want you to slide off. Hold on. Oh, I'm a single mother. It's such work. Hold on. Let's tilt this. I'm a single mother. Help. Help. For just pennies a day, you too can help a small family of bulldogs. So they're learning. They're still in their very much learning phase of like they go out and then they squirm around, they pee, and then they come back right back in the house and take a shit right on the ground, right in the kitchen. So they're learning. I love them. Look at the baby. Yeah, so that's the babies. Oh, I don't know if you've been eating cat poop though. He likes to eat cat poop. And she, I don't think she can hear us. She likes to eat her own poop. It's disgusting. I've talked to her doctor about it. We're trying to get her to stop doing it. But she seems to want to still eat her own feces. They actually say that it's a natural thing with dogs. I've never met a dog that does it as much as her. It's really kind of foul. I mean, I've met dogs that eat cat poop and weird, gross stuff. Like Gus, when we moved to Mexico, he ate human poop once. And, I mean, disgusting. But I've never seen a dog eat its own poop, but Cora does that. And they were telling me that mothers will do that with their puppies to hide the scent of the puppies from other dogs in the wild, that it's an intrinsic thing. I'm like, these guys live in suburbia. There's no like coyotes coming for them. Like, please. There's no, like we don't need to have poo-poo teeth. Like, I'm sorry. And I like to kiss her too much. And I hate that I have to think about like, where's your mouth been? So we've been training to try and get them. He's getting so big. I can't believe how big he looks on camera. We've been trying to train them so that they go in the crate for an hour, they come out, they go straight to the bathroom, so that they'll figure out that, like, outside is outside. She's proving to be harder to potty train than he is. He's actually getting it, where she's not necessarily. The poop part he's not getting, like, fully. He does it if I catch him, like, if I get him outside, like, right after eating. Like, he's got to go out pretty immediate, or else he'll poop right on the floor. But that's kind of a puppy thing. They're a lot. He's chewing on my desk now. Like, because it's wood. He thinks it's a giant chew toy. Don't do that. Hey, don't. No. Thanks. So, yeah. She does what? My puppy does that only because she thinks she's in trouble. Does what? Eats her poop? Jesus. Ashley. Yeah, I didn't know that, Rose. I didn't know that the mothers ate the poop. And so they were telling me that, and now that's love. Like, I thought my mother was, like, codependent. That is, like, a whole other level. Because as much as my mother loves me, I don't think she would eat my poop. I'm just saying. So, I'll have to call her and ask her. I don't know. I found it interesting because I never had heard that and I never knew that, but in the wild they will do that. And so it's actually kind of a common thing. And so the doctor said she will probably grow out of it. And it's gotten a little bit better even because I've been like kind of warning her, like when I can catch her doing it or catching her like after pooping, if I can clean it up fast enough, she can't get to it. But sometimes she's a little like poop ninja. She'll find some weird little spot to poo in the house, and then I can tell she's eaten it because of the way it looks, like because it's like chewed down or whatever. It's just like gross. Never had a dog. I mean, I have 6 dogs right now, and never have I had a dog that does this sort of stuff. So these guys also have been why I haven't been online a whole lot, because when I'm not at work, I'm dealing with them, and they're a lot of work, and it's like, when they're free in the house, they're zipping around and it's great energy, but it's like, it's also a lot. Like I'm finding, messes and, you know, constantly chasing them around the house, and they'll mellow out after a certain point, then I'll be less tired probably. But like when mommy needs her naps, mommy needs her naps. So I'm also kind of trying to decide, oh, I didn't mean to highlight that. I'm also trying to decide if I need to change the channel, like the YouTube channel and stuff. I'm kind of disgruntled with the lack of growth that I'm experiencing, and I don't know if I'm just barking up the wrong tree. Not that I don't. I'm not saying I would quit readings. I just don't know if I need to find a new format or something else that works better for me or for viewers, or I don't know. I'm trying to decide. But while dealing with puppies, these guys need to get a little bit older and a little bit more pulled together so that I'm not stepping in piss and pee and poop and all that when I'm trying to rush to work in the living room. But I'm grateful that I get to stay home and work with them. Gus has never known me to have a job. Like Gus, my big chocolate try, I've never left him to go to work ever. So these guys are probably going to be the same thing, meaning I leave them to go to work, but they sit in the kennel right next to me at my desk. So they won't know like what it's like to be away from me. Can you say separation anxiety? Yeah. Can you say separation? Yeah. Are you a good girl? They are cute. They are cute. They're amazing. And they're so different, their personalities. So different. All right, guys, I'm gonna go like let them run around and have free reign. I need to move my mattress back into my bedroom because I think we're gonna be able to sleep in there tonight. And I need to make the bed and get that all ready so that I can get up. I gotta be at work at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Back to 10-hour days, which. Oh, speaking of which, Rose, do you have HBO? You have to watch Dune. It is like a space-age orgasm. It's amazing. It's so beautiful. It's dark. It's ominous. Oh, somebody farted. Somebody needs to poop. It's dark. It's ominous. It's just really amazing. And I don't know if, you and I are kind of the same age. I think I might be slightly older than you, but we grew up in the era of Dune, and like I read the books and stuff. I don't know if you read the books, but it is so good. And I watched it on my large screen TV, and it was gorgeous just on the large screen TV. I was like, oh my God, this must be amazing in theaters. And I'm like a huge fan of like Ridley Scott and all of that sort of stuff. And so this guy, the director, Denis Villeneuve, I think is how it's pronounced, he directs sort of similar to how Ridley Scott creates, the whole planetscape. So you literally feel like you're in an alternate world. It's just beautiful. So, I'm older than you then. I'm 48. Good night, Vicky. You're welcome. Thank you. So, yeah, I'm 48. But I read all of the books, and so I'm familiar with the whole lore of Dune, and they do a good job. For somebody who may not understand the whole Dune story, it may not make a whole lot of sense, but it's still a really pretty film to look at and really cool sci-fi. All right, I'm going to sign off, and I will talk to you guys later. Have a good night. Thank you for all of those of you that tuned in. I'm going to look at, I let him out of the kennel, and this is what he does. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I talking about you? I love you. You love me? I love you. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night. Bye.